And good afternoon, everybody, and welcome here to Season 8 of the NNSCRA Snickers Cup Series, the final race of the contender round. That's right, folks. We ended up having 4 eliminations 3 weeks ago from the chase for the championship. Today, 4 more drivers will be eliminated, and we will be down to our Elite 8 heading into the final 4 races of the season. We are live here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and it wouldn't be Indianapolis Snickers Cup Series racing if I wasn't joined by one guy. You know him. He ended up being the commentator here last season. He also became the only driver to be a commentator winner in one of my races, and he also has the concession stand here on the inside of turn number 4, the Huggies concession stand. Please give a warm welcome to Dylan Young.
Hey, how's it going? And that Huggy stand, they're getting pretty well filled up and all that, so it should be interesting.
A lot of different wrecks that took place, a lot of wild wrecks in the Trucks and Mobile Cup Series race. I think we can definitely expect we're going to see a lot of hard hits taken here today in the Snickers Cup Series race too, especially with so much on the line.
Absolutely, and the hard thing to believe is that this is the 5th season we've actually done that now, so hard to believe we've made it through this far, and hopefully more to come and all that.
Absolutely. As coming into this race, as I said, this is the final race of the Eliminator round. And for this particular race, Dylan, is there a strategy coming into this race for these chasers? Because we've seen in Trucks and Mobile, wrecks happen at the front of the field. They happen all the way back at the rear of the field. We saw a wreck take place, I think it was in the Truck Series race, when they were 3 wide for dead last, and they all ended up wrecking. What is a strategy that a chaser that is in possible danger of being eliminated from the championship today can come into Indianapolis with?
For a chaser that's like in the bottom 4, like you look at Levi McIntyre, who's just on that area that could fall off, and the 3 others that's there, including Galligan and the other 2 there, I'll tell you one thing, though. They got to go all out in this race. They wreck at any time. Their hopes for the chase are over, so... Another thing too is that they got to hope for drivers that are in the top 8 to have a problem as well. But you got to go for it. It's all or nothing right now. And the 4 drivers to look at are Levi McIntyre, Sean Galligan, Dylan Poteet, and Josh McCollar. And I see Dylan Poteet start on the inside line here, which is a good thing for him. But the question is though, can he survive it out?
And here's the interesting thing too. This is going to be our 6th race of the chase. We have not had a chaser go to victory lane yet since the chase began, and as we know with the new chase format, if you win a race, you're automatically into the next round. So right now, I mean, for those 4 drivers that are in that danger zone, and maybe even for a couple other 4 or 5 drivers that are just above that danger zone that, barring any problems, could be eliminated today, you gotta kind of go for that victory here today, because if you don't win, you don't have a ghost of a shot of getting in if you finish poorly.
Exactly. And the funny thing, from 6 on down to 12, they're only separated by like 7 points. So it's that close there.
Exactly. It is super, super close. And one wrong move, not only by a chase driver, but by a driver maybe just ahead of him or just behind him, could end their championship hopes. So we're going to get these cars rolling off here. Noah Hart and Cody Lamas, both non-chasers that haven't been to victory lane yet this season. They could end up going for their first wins of the season. You got Brandon Gonzalez and Isaac Canepa lined up there in 3rd and 4th, but not to take anything away from these guys, but they're not exactly the guys that we're focusing on here today, because the points coming into this race, as you said, they're so close. Right now, Dylan Young is the current points leader, Trent Dunham 2nd, Jessica Shelton in 3rd, Michael Norman 4th, and Jacob Lawler in 5th. But they're all basically separated. The top 5 are separated by 19 points, and as you mentioned, from 6th place on down to 12th place, they're only separated by 7 points. Who is the chaser you are going to be seeing that's going to be coming up here through the running order and trying to win this thing to keep their chase hopes alive?
You know what? I've seen so many good racers on this track. And, you've seen the best of the best. And I'm going to look at one driver that's actually in the bottom 4 to actually get a good run. I'm actually going to go with Josh McCollar in that 34. I'm really thinking, for being dead last in the points, actually tied for dead last in the points, I think this may be a shot. But you know what? You never know what can happen. The good thing, though, for Collar, like I also mentioned with Pote, he's starting on the inside line as well. So, very interesting.
Yeah, one driver that I'm going to be looking at that I think in that bottom 4 as well, that really has not had the best of runs here this weekend. He ended up having a very difficult race in Trucks, a very difficult race in the Mobile One Cup Series race where he wrecked out, starting just a few spots ahead, and
Uh-oh,
that's his
say
fellow.
that name.
That's
Don't you say that name.
his fellow Brit, Sean Galligan, because you know
Oh.
Sean Galligan's a two-time winner this season, and the fact of the matter is Sean Galligan, he really seemed to be hot at a certain point of the season. Then things seemed to kind of cool off for him after he knew he was going to be in the chase. I kind of think that maybe, just maybe now, he's going to be able to kick it back into gear the way he was back when he was winning earlier on in the season. I think Sean Galligan may be able to keep his championship hopes alive.
The green flag is out for Noah Hart.
Yes, indeed. 32 laps of racing here today, and it's sure to be a wild one for sure. Plenty of huggies on hand as Noah Hart clears Brandon Gonzalez, at least for now, at the front.
This 5 turn 2. Oh, let's hope to God that they do.
Yeah, turn 2 has been treacherous. The entrance into turn 3 has been treacherous. Oh, wow, Jacob Lawler back there with, I think that was Zach Buchanan. They almost were rubbing doors.
And I think they actually made it through. They did.
They did, wow.
I mean, last season when we did this, it was like a caution every time on 2 nearly, but, well, glad they got that fixed.
And it looks like they're going to be actually maybe be okay through the entrance of turn 3 as we got a new leader, Brandon Gonzalez, going to the point. And I'll tell you what, Isaac Canepa, right now up here in the second place, yes, he did get a good qualifying run, which is why he's running up here, but the past couple of weeks, this guy has been up inside the top 5 in the running order. I think he finished top 5 at Homestead, Miami. I think he finished top 5 at Darlington. Whoa.
Here.
Noah Hart and Dougie Shears getting into... Oh!
Caution's out.
Is it out?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, yeah, there's a whole breakaway there from Cody Lamas on back. There's no cars there. That's not a good sign.
No, but look at that guy. That guy is coming. And I mean that with good use, though. That 31.
Yeah, Dylan Poteet coming up the inside line there is... I knew you were avoiding saying the name. I knew you were avoiding saying the name.
Yeah, and you just had to say it too. But the caution is out though. It's on lap 2 of 32, now on lap 3. Oh, I'm afraid to hope who's going to be in there.
Yeah, I'm afraid to look too. It's right there. You see only 2 chasers right now up here at the front after that caution flag. And that's Dylan Poteet and Jacob Lawler. See if any other chasers are up here. Citadino is. Qualls is. There's Galligan. I didn't jinx him. Trent Dunham's up here. He made it through.
It's a Christmas miracle.
Jessica Shelton apparently made it through. There's Michael Norman. I think he's okay.
Ooh,
Dylan Young's okay. There's Levi McIntyre. So who was the wreck?
Did Linkford ever? Oh, Henley.
Oh, Henley. Sean Henley in the 57's got front end damage.
I believe that may have been from Ralph Mason, I think, because I saw some rear end damage, I think, on the 87.
The Season 4 champion, one of 3 former Snickers Cup Series champions coming into this chase involved here. Oh, Zachary Fitzwater.
And he's out.
Fitzwater, the only one of the heavy metal motorsports drivers not to go to victory lane yet this season, and
It stops.
so I'm not certain, but we may have only had a 3-car wreck.
I'll be very surprised if that happened, though, and oh boy.
There's smoke there in turn 4 and skid marks there coming here just at the start of the pit wall. That must have been where it was.
I see those skid marks. I hope, honest to God, no one nailed that pit wall.
Yeah, you know the big story here at Indy, one of the places the drivers say they don't want to wreck is right there hitting that entrance of the pit lane wall, and we've seen it happen so far this season already. We saw Carson Gum hit it. We've seen Jessica Shelton just barely avoid it in the Mobile One Cup Series race, so...
Yeah, I mean, the funny thing about that is that it happened for a few seasons that happened, where a car at the pit wall, so... If we don't get that this season, then it'll be interesting, and Dylan Poteet went second out.
Yeah, I think Poteet and Silver Fox, both with gas and go pit stops there. Silver Fox will come out in first. I think Poteet might have gotten Brandon Gonzalez for second, don't know, but yeah, interesting move there by the 31.
I guess Gonzalez got him barely.
Yeah, I think he maybe did. I think Poteet comes out third, Canepa fourth, and Dougie Shears in fifth. But we did have a chaser involved in our first caution of the day, Sean Henley. Let's jump back, take a look at a replay of what happened to him. Well, Dylan Young jinxed Joshua Collard. Anyway, this is what happened to bring out the first caution. We actually had 2 incidents. We'll look at the second incident here. Collard just seemed to really slide up in the corner there, and Fitzwater had nowhere to go.
Yeah, the funny thing, we didn't know what happened to Collard at first. We saw the incident from the turn 4, which we'll get to. right into Jake Rogers. There's Fitzwater, Kyle Corbett's getting involved. Right in front of the points leader, too, right there.
Yeah, Dylan Young right there. Sean Galligan's not too far behind this. Trent Dunham, John Citadino. There were a lot of chasers, actually, right behind all this.
Yeah, the funny thing with Jake, too, is that that's his final season. You know, he wants to go with a bang at one point, but this isn't going to help.
Oh, Jake.
Got into Duncan.
Yeah, Duncan, and I think Makoto Iguchi got a piece of him, too. His teammate.
Yeah, Michael Norman did a good job avoiding that wreck as well.
Another car spinning up here.
Good.
Who's that?
I think it happened
Was
more
that
behind.
the 2? Oh, yeah, Dylan Young and James McLeod just kind of went into a half spin there after some contact trying to avoid. They both.
I don't think it's really going to affect them. I mean, they kind of lightly tapped the wall, so I don't really think it's going to affect both of them.
Yeah, that was actually quite a nice save by both those drivers because they could have come right down in front of other traffic there.
Yeah. Cole Daly does a nice job avoiding that wreck. Ralph Mason.
Oh, Mason ran into the back of Dylan Young.
I don't know what Mason was thinking right there.
Boy. And then we know that something else happens further up, and I think we pinpointed it to Sean Henley, Levi McIntyre, Ralph Mason. Let's quickly just fast forward here. The caution is already out. And this was coming into turn 4 and out of turn 4 onto the front straightaway.
Yeah.
And I think this is going to be, something like what happened with Collard.
Except, you know, Mason was there and right to the wall. There's Henley get involved, and
I mean, there was like no reaction time for Henley.
Oh, and he just gets lucky.
He got very lucky.
That was probably one of those moments as a chaser, you hold your breath, hoping nothing bad happens, and ooh, he got away with something very lucky. He came pretty close to hitting that pit wall.
Yeah, because that direction was headed right for it, and fortunately, he ended up just barely tapping it with the left rear.
Yeah, so lucky break for the 60 right there. Ninth in the points, trying to get into one of the chase spots.
Yeah, that was near avoidance for sure, is no doubt about it. If he had hit that wall, that would have been it for the 60 team as far as even thinking about battling for the championship this season. So they were able to continue. We found out Sean Henley was able to continue. The only driver that may be out of the race that's a chaser is possibly Joshua Collard. His chase hopes may be gone after today. One of those 4 elimination spots may be going to the 34 team. But we'll update you on everything when we come right back for the restart. Getting ready to go back to green. James Silverfox is the leader here, as we'll be back green on lap 7 of 32. Dylan Poteet second, then it's Brandon Gonzalez, Isaac Canepa, Dougie Shears, Noah Hart, the pole sitter, 6th, Ashley LaPlante in 7th. That's the pace car. We don't need to see him. 8th is Jacob Lawler, 9th place Kyle Matthews, and now John Citadino has cracked the top 10. So 3 chasers right now inside the top 10 on this restart.
Yeah, Citadino, one of those drivers that's in the bubble of making that chase. He's got a lot of pressure now, but he's in a good spot, though.
As far as the drivers that are out of the race after the incident we just saw, only 2 drivers have retired, Zachary Fitzwater and Joshua Collard. So, tough break for Collard, making his 2nd straight chase. He was in the chase last season, and season 7 made the chase this season. The only Mitsubishi Lancer to make the chase, and has actually been the only Mitsubishi Lancer to go to victory lane this season, but his chase comes to an early end here, as he will be the first of 3 eliminated drivers at the end of today's race.
Yeah, tough break for Collard right there. And he was last in the chase points, but oh well. But speaking of which, battle for 3rd. Ooh, close call between Canepa and Hart.
And Poteet, Poteet deciding to kind of back out of that. Nice move, nice veteran move on the part of Dylan Poteet. And look who's coming up the inside line here as well. You know, one team that's really been on a tear as of late has been Hendrick Daly Motorsports, Joshua Michaels.
I think the caution's out.
Oh, look out. Almost got into Nathan Hudson.
Oh, got him.
I'm not sure if we're under caution or not.
I'm not sure either.
No, we're still green.
Oh. I'm amazed. I thought we did, but good. That's a nice save by Michaels. I'm
trying to see if there's anybody with some left side damage, because I think Michaels has right side damage. I think someone may have bounced off the wall coming out at 2 and gotten into the 04, but I don't know who it would have been.
Side. Speaking of foul, here comes Jackson.
Charles Jackson, a former Truck Series, former Snickers Cup Series champion, but we just had a spin. Oh, man. Oh, Dylan Young, the points leader, was caught up in it.
Uh-oh.
Anthony McCrory in the 61. And they're still wrecking.
It's William Duncan. There's both the teammates there.
Yep, both the teammates out of Young Duncan Motorsports. Cole Daly was in it. Kyle Corbett, second straight wreck he's been involved in. Oh, wait, what? That's Sean Galligan.
He's got damage.
He does. He's got damage on, looks like left, right, and front of his BMW.
But now you jinxed him.
And now I've jinxed him. Oh, man.
Can we jinx other people?
I don't think we better make any backup picks.
No, that'd be the best thing to do. But that's good news, though, if your name is going to be Dylan Pote, though. More of the chasers getting in trouble.
Exactly. I mean, when you think about it, you got Dylan Pote, you got John Sedino, Levi McIntyre. I mean, with these drivers getting collected in this, more opportunity for those spots to be taken, those eliminator spots to be taken by other drivers. And if we could have, if some of those drivers could have 4 of the chasers retire from the race today, I think we could safely say those 4 would be the ones that get eliminated.
Absolutely. Now the question is this, though. Which of the chasers is going to retire out of that?
Exactly. I mean, I'm pretty certain Dylan Young's going to retire. However, Dylan Young came into this race with a 30-point advantage over 9th place in points, so he may not be in as dire straits as a couple of other of these drivers that got collected, like Galligan, and I think there was another chaser that was in. I'm not sure.
I'm not sure. Oh, Galligan, that was the other one.
Yeah, Galligan, and I thought there was another chaser, but maybe not. No, I'm thinking actually of former chasers there, because
yeah,
I think Nathan Hudson may have gotten a piece of it.
Yeah.
Cole Daly, I know, got a piece of it. So the driver's going to make pit stops again here on lap 10 of 32, now crossing the stripe, completing lap 11. We saw Dylan Poteet and James Silverfox go with just fuel only. Let's see if they go with tires this time.
Well, some of them are. I don't blame them. Indy can be a little bit of a tire shredder here.
And what we've seen, especially with a number of the wrecks already, is there seems to be a lot of lack of grip in the corners there. A lot of drivers sliding up the racetrack, and that could be a big reason why tires are going to be such a factor in this race.
Is indeed the case. Silverfox first one out.
That team's been pretty stellar today, been keeping him up in front, as he'll be our leader under our second caution of the day. Let's see what happened. Harrison Langford, the reason for this yellow, coming off a 2. Well, here's a look at what happened, and looks like
Anthony McCurry got the 3.
Yeah, the 3 kind of slid up into the 61, and they kind of got a bit of bumper grab there or something, and then McCrory off the wall. Oh, Jessica Shelton got a tiny piece of that.
Wow, that's... I didn't even know the 94 got involved.
I didn't either. There's another driver back there. Is that Dunham? Yeah, that was Trent, but I think he got through it, but he was right... No, wait a minute. No, he's got front-end damage on that McDonald's Chevy.
That's second in the points.
Oh, my goodness. And
Then
Galligan...
back to the 33. And then here comes the 2, the points leader.
Look at Henley. Just avoid. Dylan Young, not so lucky.
There's Corbin and Duncan.
Yeah, how did
also.
Corbin and Duncan get into each other here?
Yeah, I didn't see what happened from them.
Oh, I think Duncan... Okay, so Trent Dunham, we know, has that damage on his machine. I think Duncan was held up behind. Oh, and then Corbett got clipped and slid into the back of the 12.
I don't think Duncan's going to be too thrilled about that.
No, I mean, Duncan had it saved. He was just backing off because he knew that one car was damaged. But really, when you think about it, not much that Corbett would have been able to do either because he got spun.
No, and the funny thing about this race is that we've gone, nearly halfway in, and we have not seen, those crazy wrecks here, so very surprising, too.
Yeah, a lot of barrel rolls in the Mobile One Cup Series race. I want to see here. Okay, so Sean Galligan, I thought that he got damage from this wreck. Apparently, he had gotten damage from the earlier incident that we saw him collected in, and he did avoid this wreck, so...
Relatively well right there for the Hartlepool BMW right there.
Yeah, Levi McIntyre also getting to the inside to avoid this as well, so I thought that Galligan got his damage from this wreck. Apparently not. He was able to get through. So right now, I don't rightly know what the points are going to look like because we ended up having, for the most part, first and second in points, basically collecting this. And if you want to count Jessica Shelton getting a piece of it, that's first, second, and third in the chase standings, getting pieces of this second incident of the day.
Yeah, very surprising right there too. But you know what? And we're not even halfway done too. So interesting stuff going on. But we are getting ready to go back to green soon.
Absolutely.
You're watching the race here at Indy for the NNSCRA Snickers Cup Series. Get back to green.
Getting ready to go back to green, Cole Daly had to make an unscheduled pit stop during that last green flag run. He is now 1 lap down, so we're going to have to contend with a lap car on the inside line. As Silver Fox is the leader, Brandon Gonzalez second, then it's Canepa, Dougie Shears, Kyle Matthews, our winner from Lime Rock last week, is now up to 5th. 6th is Zach Buchanan, 7th Danny Wells, 8th John Cedino, 9th Jacob Lawler, and Bob Jones, our winner from Darlington, is now up here in the 10th position. So a couple of new players up here inside the top 10. As far as chasers, though, basically only John Cedino and Jacob Lawler up here in the top 10.
Exactly, but green flag's back out, and look who's also that's nearly in the top 10. James Qualls, I saw that's in there in the 70.
Let's find the 70 card. James Qualls, there he is. And you know, James Qualls, he knows how to get things done when it's down to the wire. I mean, he was almost eliminated from the chase for the championship back at Arizona, but it was Levi McIntyre who won, so Qualls got in that final transfer spot. James Qualls also ended up getting a very good win at Kansas. So, you know, there's a lot of pressure on him right now. He's came into this race, 4 points ahead of 9th in the standings, so he's really got to work here, and he knows how to get it done when it comes down to the wire.
Yeah, he's in a very good spot right now where he could be moving on to the next round. But you got to give credit to the 70 now. Didn't have a great season at all. Surprised a lot of people, won the race, and somehow managed to get into the chase. So give credit to the 70 team. Whether they win the championship or not, they had a great comeback.
And not only that, but you know, James Qualls, once the chase began too, he was up there leading the points a couple of times. Oh! Henley! Oh, and then Qualls spins! Noah Hart!
Barely avoids it. Samper lightly taps the wall, but
Qualls continues on. Oh, man. Sean Henley and Levi McIntyre again. And there's more smoke. Galligan! Qualls just rammed him.
And smoke is off the 70 car.
Oh, my goodness. Charles Jackson in it. Mason. Oh, more chasers. Norman and Dunham.
Oh my, it's just a bad day to be a chaser.
Oh my goodness.
When did we have that before? Was that season 6?
I think, yeah, season 6, where if you were a chaser, you basically had a target on your back and you wrecked.
Yeah, and that's a big blow right there. Sean Henley and Sean Galligan.
That's 6 chasers right there that I just saw within about 5 seconds. Galligan, McIntyre, Henley, Michael Norman, Trent Dunham, and James Qualls.
Yeah, right there, that was 2nd in points, 4th in points, 6th in points, 7th in points, 9th, and 10th.
Oh boy.
So now the question is this, where's Dylan Poteet?
Let's see where the 31 is. There's Citadino, there's Lawler. Poteet is right now in 14th.
I think because of that, he's in a very, very good spot.
He's in a very good spot right now because he could definitely pass Henley. He could definitely pass Qualls. And then Levi McIntyre and Sean Galligan, they were only 2 and 3 points, respectively, ahead of him in the points. So Poteet's in a very good spot right now.
And, some drivers staying out.
Yeah.
Some drivers spinning.
Gonzalez going to come in. Lawler, Chris Washer, Nathan Hudson, McLeod, Sanford, and Shelton. But looks like leader Silver Fox and a number of others are going to decide to stay out. But well, Indianapolis has definitely played its part into this season's chase for the championship for sure. This time, 6 chasers and a number of others involved in our 3rd caution of the day as we are just barely past the halfway point. Well, can you say deja vu? Because a couple of cautions ago, Levi McIntyre slid up and Henley had nowhere to go. This time, Henley slides up into Levi McIntyre.
I don't know if that was like karma or something, but man, that's just... Only this time, though, Henley really pounded the wall, and the black smoke immediately came out of that Pfizer Viagra 57 Chevy for Tweenix.
And I think that these were the only 2 involved in this wreck. Everybody dives down to the inside to avoid. Then we saw up ahead James Qualls. Now, we saw him actually get put up into the wall. I don't remember who it was that did it. I think it might have been, yeah, it was Dutta, when
Yeah, it
Dutta
was
came up and
Dutta.
sideswiped him.
Yeah, that's when we were looking at him. I saw Dunn right there, and normally turn two, if that happens, that's not a good thing.
I mean, it completely messes up your exit out of 2.
You're right there. He's gonna hit the wall. Keeps it going. Doesn't see Noah Hart right there in the inside, and then around goes to 70. Look at Jackson and Charles Samper right there. The Charles get each other.
They're leaning on each other there, and
The Hellman's Toyota Camry and the Vanilla Coke Mitsubishi Lancer barely avoid that wreck. But Samper, give credit to him though.
and then we have something happen further up here.
Yeah, it involved Galligan, Norman, Dunham.
I don't know who it's. Oh,
Oh,
Charles Jackson.
Wait a minute. Did Jackson and Samper wreck each other?
I think it was Jackson and Mason.
I guess it was.
Yeah, Jackson came back up the track.
Yeah, I think Jackson's trying to come back on the racing line. Didn't even see Ralph Mason, and he gets involved right there, right in front of Cody Lamas.
And Cody was able to avoid.
Oh, wait.
Oh,
no.
and then there's Dunham into Cody.
And there's where the McDonald's Chevy's got damage, and Jessica Shelton gets involved.
Wow. And then Norman.
Second. Oh, yeah, gets a tiny piece in there, but how does Galligan get? Oh, now we know.
Oh, man.
Right to the rear end of the 54 Hellman's Toyota Camry.
And then,
I think Galligan just tried to go up and couldn't get it up there, and then here comes Qualls. Wow, that's mind-blowing. 7.
okay, so we're back to Indianapolis. Tribute to Ralph Mason there, I guess. We're back.
Yes, it's his final season, so why not for the
Exactly. Why not? So we're back here in Indianapolis, and we are getting ready for what's going to be 8 laps to go here at Indy. But that last caution certainly has played a big factor into possibly who's going to move on to the next round, the eliminator round of the chase, and who is going to be eliminated from the chase for the championship. We got 4 drivers that are going to be eliminated by the time this race is over, and right now we got quite a few candidates after that wreck that we just saw happen, because out of the race now are the cars of Noah Hart, Cody Lamas, also Ian Dutta, Levi McIntyre, he's a chaser, Jake Rogers, James McLeod, another chaser in Michael Norman, Cole Daly is out of the race, so is James Qualls. That's another of the chasers that was in contention. And then also Charles Jackson, another chaser in Sean Henley, another chaser in Sean Galligan, and Ralph Mason joining the rest of the drivers back behind the walls. So I think that's like 5 chasers that are now out of the race, with 4 of those elimination spots open.
Yeah, we know Joshua Pollard being involved in that one wreck. We know for sure he's going to be out of the race. Probably Galligan is going to be as well. And Levi McIntyre, I think it's safe to say as well. But I think the one driver from the bottom 4, so the green flag's back out, that could stay alive is that guy. And we all know who that would be. That number 31, he's actually in a very good spot, because at that time, he was tied for 11th with Joshua Pollard, 33 points back. He's surviving really well right now, trying to stay alive, and he's doing a hell of a job.
Yeah, he is. And another guy that's actually doing really well, too, that came in just above the elimination spot, and that was John Cittadino. He's still in this race, too. So he, Lawler, and the driver of that 31 car, they
good way to say it.
Yep, they all...
caution.
Oh, are we caution again?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, so that didn't take long at all.
Please don't tell me it was that guy.
If it's him, then there's just no way that we can't jinx him, apparently.
Then it's safe to say this guy cannot, be any successful at this track. But Danny Wells is going to lead us.
Yeah, he's going to lead here, and Danny Wells, remember when the chase began, 2 for 2 in the first chase races, won at Daytona and Chicagoland, and all of a sudden he's up here at Indy, and he'll lead us under what I believe is going to be our third or fourth caution.
Who's going to be involved?
I'm afraid to look. I saw Lawler and Cittadino. Looks like they were okay. Oh, Megan Atkins. Yeah, the 33. Oh, and Trent Dunham again.
And it looks like now he is officially done. That was second in the points, but...
Another car up ahead. That's Shelton. Oh, my goodness.
Third.
And if I'm not mistaken, those two got a piece of the incident that happened last time, involving most of putting a lot of chasers behind the wall, so... I don't know if this maybe happened near the rear of the field. We talked about before this race started how wrecks start at the front, but they also can start right at the back, as there's
Kyle Corbett.
yeah, winner from Homestead. And
Looks
that guy still survives.
Oh, lucky him. Oh my.
Nathan Hudson's got some damage, but a lot of these drivers have been involved in stuff already today that it could be from earlier incidents that these damage is coming from.
Absolutely. I'm actually surprised. I'm seeing William Duncan up here. Normally, he's not had the best of luck at all this season, and look where he's at right now.
Well, William Duncan spun out on the back straightaway after that one time Dylan Young, his teammate, took that hard hit in the back straightaway wall, so he's not, been able to keep completely clear of wrecks, but he is still running right up in the top 10. It looks like nobody's coming to pit road, which is interesting because number of drivers that were up at the front under that last caution came to pit road, and that's why we saw some new faces at the front. But the leaders are not coming in. Apparently, they feel they can make it the rest of the way on fuel.
Interesting there. So, caution's out. Let's take a look at what happened.
And just a little bit of what we've been seeing all race long. Drivers seeming to not have any grip coming off of 2. This time, Corbett's going to slide up into Megan Atkins.
Well, I mean, we've noticed it from last season. These drivers get a whale of a run on turn 2, and then they just... If you're on the outside line, you see a car doing the inside, there's a bad chance you're going to get involved in. Wow, Shelton, nowhere to go right there.
Yeah, and look at Silver Fox did get a tiny piece of it. A guy who's been leading most of this race.
Oh, there's that guy. He made it through, and Dunham, gets involved.
Wow. I think Makoto Oguchi got a tiny piece of it. I think maybe in the passenger side door.
Yeah, I know he got held up. I know Oguchi.
Oh, and then again.
I know Oguchi got held up from the 33, but
Boy. So even more chasers get collected here as the race winds down here at Indianapolis. This time Dunham and Shelton. Now the good thing for the two of them, I think, is possibly the fact that a lot of drivers that were way down beneath them in points, like Collard, Galligan, Henley, Qualls, the fact that they are out of the race and these guys are going to be able to finish, a few positions ahead of them. The fact that they came in pretty well established in the point standings, those two along with Dylan Young, they may be able to still be able to transfer their way into the next round.
Yeah, I don't see them really falling out. Dunham, Shelton, Young, I really don't. And I know it's safe to say too, Lawler's going to be in, and possibly Cittadino, but there's still a few question marks for some other drivers, especially for James Qualls and hell, even for Sean Henley. So who knows what will happen, though. But we are getting closer to that checker flag, and then the moment of truth comes of who will be our eliminated 4.
Yeah, we're getting ready for a shootout possibly here to finish out today's race at Indy. Will we finish it under caution or under green? We're about to find out. So it's going to be 3 laps to go here at Indianapolis. We ran a little bit of a green flag run during the course of this race, but for the most part, there really has been a lot of pacing under yellow. What do you think, Dylan? Do you think these final 3 laps might possibly be under green, or will this race be ending under yellow?
I don't know. The funny thing was that I got asked that question last season, and that ended under caution. So, I don't know. It's been a lot different from last season, and I'd have to say it's going to be under caution.
I'm trying to remember back to last season. Wasn't it like there was a handful of laps left to go? They ran every single lap under green, and then on the final lap there was a caution or something.
Yeah, it was like that.
So
I have a feeling that's what's going to happen.
Very well
caution's going to come out.
But drivers that are out of the race after that incident, we saw even more chasers behind the wall, including Trent Dunham and Jessica Shelton, as well as Megan Atkins, Kyle Corbett, and Makoto Oguchi. We are left, amazingly enough, with only 20 drivers left on the racetrack, and if I'm not mistaken, I think only 3 of them are chase drivers. You got Danny Wells the leader, Balkowitz second, Dougie Shears third, Zach Buchanan's in 4th with Ashley LaPlante 5th. Then the first chaser is 6th. That's John Cittadino. 7th is Bob Jones. 8th, William Duncan. 9th, Chris Washer. And Jacob Lawler, another chaser, in 10th. The only other chaser, I believe, that's on track right now is that guy, and he's in the 20th position.
Yeah, he's just the lone survivor of that chaser group, but the green flag's back out. I think, safe to say Cittadino, Lawler, they're going to be in. Yeah, Henley's still a question mark. Qualls, I think, is going to be in.
It's going to come down really close, I think, between Henley, McIntyre, and Qualls probably, because those guys were pretty close in the points, and I think they all got involved in the same wreck. and retired at the same time. So, they came in really close in points coming into this race. I think there was only like a separation of 4 points between those three. And depending on where they retired and what positions they are going to be officially finishing, that could really be the key factor into whether they're transferring or not.
And speaking of Cittadino, wow, he is making a statement. The guy who has struggled for 4 seasons at Indy.
If I'm not mistaken, I may be wrong, but I think that winning season, when he won the championship back in season 5, I think one of his 6 wins came here at Indy.
Who knows?
I can't remember, but I think
so. Be wrong, though. But ever since then, though, he has just been struggling. Oh, boy.
Oh, wow. Look at Ashley LaPlante. Oh, Balkowitz got turned! Cittadino turned him!
Wow. And look who's in third, Lawler.
Oh, my goodness. Balkowitz spun out here. Is that going to bring out a caution? It is!
Yep. I knew it.
And the leader is Ashley LaPlante. Chevy Camaro and Hendrick Dowley Motorsports have 3 wins this season. Or no, I'm sorry. Only 2 wins this season. One with Kyle Matthews and one with Cole Daly. They're going to get their 3rd win of the season.
And look who that driver's going to be coming to the stripe. It's going to be Ashley LaPlante, and I believe it's Camaro 1-2.
It's Hendrick Dowley Motorsports 1-2. Lawler gets 2nd.
And look who got 3rd.
Wow, William Duncan. Talk about the comeback of the race.
Yay. All right, William.
Man. 4th was Bob Jones, our winner from Darlington, and Charles Sanford. Nice representation for Mitsubishi Lancer in 5th today.
With a damaged car. That's
and the
amazing.
rest of the chasers, where'd they fish? Cittadino ended up spinning out Balkowitz there. He's still going to finish in 10th. And I think we can say his name now because he's going to finish the race. Dylan Poteet's going to get 16th. We can finally say his name.
And before he blows an engine.
Oh, but what a tough break for Balkowitz because he was up there battling for the possible win.
He was leading, and that was just, man.
Oh,
I don't know
man.
I saw Cittadino get close, and I'm like, uh-oh.
That was, I think, a battle for 2nd. I think LaPlante had already cleared Balkowitz, and then Cittadino was going for 2nd place. And
yeah, that was the case.
Boy. So Ashley LaPlante's going to come around. We're probably not going to go back and look at a replay of that because we basically saw it happen. We know what the case was of what happened. The big stories, 2 of them. One, the fact that Ashley LaPlante's going to come down and collect her, I believe it's going to be her 1st Snickers Cup Series victory, 3rd win of the season for Hendrick Dowley Motorsports, and actually, it's the 4th win of the season for the debuting Chevy Camaros, as James Qualls also went to victory lane for ML Motorsports earlier on this season, so Camaro has definitely been able to make its presence felt here in Snickers Cup Series.
Checker flag, though, is waving, and Ashley LaPlante's going to win here at Indy.
And as a result, looks like Jacob Lawler, he will transfer into the next round in 2nd. Cittadino will transfer into the eliminator round as he finishes 10th. And I believe, based on what I'm seeing here as far as the points, with a 16th place run, Dylan Poteet will still also transfer his way in. But the question is, who are the other 5 drivers that are going to join them
4
in that battle?
4.
Wait, would it be 4? No, there are 8,
well, I mean,
8 transfers.
Oh, there's 8 transfers. Well, you said 5. I'm like, what?
Yeah, there are 3 drivers still on track, and then 5 more drivers get in.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Yep.
So we got to take a look here at the finishing results and try and figure this out.
Well, it's going to be really tough to say. We do know for sure Collard's going to be out, so that's 1 driver out.
Yep, Collard I think will be out. I think Galligan will probably be out because of...
Yeah, he was 32 points back, so...
And he finished 38th. Henley might actually fall out because I believe... Yeah, you got Poteet and Cittadino finished higher than Henley. So Henley would have fallen out of the top 8 because he came in 7th. So if he gets passed by Cittadino and Poteet in points, he falls to 9th in points. So then that leaves, Qualls and McIntyre. So Qualls, he was 34th. McIntyre was 29th. That's 5 spot separation. And Qualls came in only 4 points ahead. That's a 1-point advantage McIntyre has.
I think McIntyre's got it.
Oh my goodness, by 1 point, Levi McIntyre is going to transfer in. Qualls is going to be eliminated.
Wow. And you talk about comeback of all miracles. Sadly, it's going to end.
Wow.
Poor
Qualls. My goodness.
I bet you that's going to be heartbreaking right there.
That is going to be heartbreaking for Qualls, no doubt. Oh my goodness.
He'll have the season to remember, though. That's going to be the thing.
Yeah, he had quite a rookie season, that's for sure. Makes the chase here in his rookie season. Had a
From
win that
being
got him
40th
in.
in the points and getting the one win.
Yeah, and then came into the first round of the championship hunt, and he was up there almost. He was leading the points almost every single week too. So you can't say that he didn't try his hardest, and just by one measly point, his
Who knows
championship
what could
hopes
have
are
happened
over.
if McIntyre finished 30th? Who knows?
Wow. I don't know what the situation would be for that, quite honestly, to tell you the
That would be
truth.
very tough because, ironically, if that happened, they both had one win.
Exactly. They both had. Well, no, actually, McIntyre has 2 wins,
It's right. Yeah.
but I don't know what the situation would have been there because they would have been tied for the eighth and final transfer spot. But interesting too, we got actually a lot
Jeff
of
Gordon
big.
transfers into the nice spot into the Snickers Cup Series chase.
Yeah,
Oh,
right.
we're making Jeff Gordon jokes.
Exactly.
Right.
But it's interesting too. You got Joshua Collar, tough break for him. I mean, Mitsubishi Lancers, first representation in the chase, second straight year he makes the chase, but he's not going to be battling for the championship. And 2 former champions, a former Mobile Cup Series champion and Sean Galligan, 2-time winner this season as well, and a former Snickers Cup Series champion and Sean Henley. Both of them not going to be battling for the championship in the next coming weeks either.
No, and the funny thing about Galligan too is that he was pretty much dominating the Cup Series regular season. But, the problem is that Chase, it really holds him back. It really does.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting too because Henley as well. He only had one win at Infineon, but he was really, quite honestly, the most consistent driver out there week after week. He'd always seemed to find a way to slide his way up into the top 10 finishing results week after week when he was basically running outside the 20s for most of those races. And the fact that he was able to. Now when we end up having the chase happen, this happens to him. That's just a tough break for a consistent season that he had.
Yeah, tough break.
Alright, well, this race is over. We will be showing you guys what the official results look like and everything after this race. You'll also be seeing the drivers that were eliminated, and with nobody winning, no chasers winning here during the contender round, everybody, the top 8, are all going to be tied heading into next week at Texas. Dylan, I want to thank you for joining me here for today's race. Always great to have you here at Indy.
No problem.
Alright, so hopefully you guys enjoyed today's race. If you did, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe to become part of the crew today. Also be sure to subscribe to Dylan Young's channel. Link to his channel is in the description. Also be sure to follow the NNSCRA on social media. Facebook and Twitter links are in the description as well. As you've been watching a production of the NNSCRA, Offline Racing at its best. See you next week at Texas.
Bye.
Whoa, look out! Oh, what a save! Dougie Shears just got turned by the lap machine of Charles Sanford, but now he's got left side damage. But he still opens up his distance. He still keeps a distance between himself and second place McCurry. But all that ground he gained, he just lost right there. But what a save!